to, but it did. And why did it? Well, I'm involved. That's fucking why. So get the fuck in here. I want you, and I want you. Oh, definitely you. Look at your missus. Bring her in here. She's fucking smoking hot. Not too bad yourself, mate. Yeah. Now let's get this fucking thing started. Ooh, a fucking choo-choo train. All right, everyone, take your seats. Sit down. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna get into this straight away. No questions. Put your hand down to the end. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't give a shit how many tattoos you have on your arm. You don't scare me, mate. Let's go.
Is that Troy?
Hi there.
Are you the
IRL
Troy?
ID? Because out here is the world is crazy.
I'm vlogging Lindsay and Troy at the same time.
Oh damn!
Oh shit!
Oh shit! Oh look at you guys!
Hi.
All right.
Oh, this is like a blind date. Hey.
We got a box straight from Azuki, straight from the garden. So, you know, might as well open it up in IRL garden. Look at, they sent us a pretty big package here. They usually don't let me use razors, but you know. Okay, damn, I got good packaging here. I don't know if I should ask for more things, but Azuki team, Zagabon, Alex, you gotta come back to IRL Alpha. You gotta be on the show again. You gotta come to our garden. Since you gave me these beautiful gifts from this garden, I'm hyped to wear all this stuff. Thanks so much, and hopefully we'll be hanging out IRL again soon. I'm gonna go use this on something. I won't tell you what.
FYI, if you're a lady and you're looking for someone with skills in the nipple department, always go for a sound guy, yeah? Look at the technique here. Now, Megan, I did mention during, I saw that you had this Bevagino next to the electrical equipment. It's a big no-no, I identify that as a safety hazard, and that needs to stop. And, here he is again. So ladies, cancel that. I wouldn't even entertain the thought, because here he is trying to take pictures down your tops. I caught it. Megan, I recommend firing the cunt. I'll do it if you have, you know, no time.
With a couple different masks. This is the first like motorcycle helmet we've done
It's,
before.
you know, it's not like the Guy Fawkes creepy, I'm gonna bomb the building type of thing. This works better. He's
done
laughing at me. He runs a
balaclava.
wizard company.
Jerry, can you make Bordelon a little louder too? Your best is all that matters. Oh God. Is it?
What's that quote from? You know, I should put on the rock.
Is that the sound effects board?
You're a streamer. You got the stream deck at home, right?
Ooh.
You don't got the stream deck, bro? Oh, dude, you gotta have one.
It's like a walking Amazon referral over here.
Oh, dude, just use my code.
Here's my link.
Please, dude, I need one. We broke one last week. Literally, this one of these big ones. We just fucking fried it, and I gotta go now either buy a new one or deal without it. So. What cardboard? What cardboard? I don't even know what he's talking about.
It's a metaphor.
You got something fixed? Okay. Thank you, Elmo. Boom. Almost there, everyone. Thank you very much.
Guys, Ed Balloon's almost here.
Oh, really? Okay, good, good. Also, does he just text you exactly where he's at?
He goes, where's the address? And I didn't see him, and he called me and go, where's the address? I gave it to him, he was like, okay.
Ed Balloon was here last week, so how does he not have the address? He was literally here. Like, there's 1,000 photos of him here last week. Like, all right, the address is not moving every week, everyone, so.
For now.
For now, until we get the second location, okay? We're gonna have one on the east side, one on the west side, you know? That's the plan. We can't get Leap out here other than like once every 6 months because of this west side situation.
I do hate when addresses have like a south or a north. I'm like, fuck, did I go to the wrong one? Am I on the other side of the street?
We'll be there soon, don't worry.
This is it.
Troy, you wanna grab your microphone off the ground? Very rude. You're an actor. Okay. I'm sorry. You know, I like to warm up by teasing you. That's like how I get warmed up. It's really helpful. Okay. If you need like, if you need to get the like ball rolling, just laugh at Troy. It really gets it out of your system and. Try it out, Lee, just once, okay? Come on.
I hate you.
There you go. He did great. Exactly, that exact link right there. Exactly. No. That was great trolling. That was killer, okay?
That's the best I can do.
You're on Twitter Spaces 24 hours. You're hosting the biggest space, and that's all you got?
You know, Big, and I have to say, like, you ever heard of the gorge in Washington? It's like where the gorge, like, in Washington.
I don't got this kind of money. I don't got Gucci loafers like you. The gorge?
Who's engorged?
Yeah, talking to your mic if you're going to tell these stories.
Has anybody been to the gorge in Washington? It's like the Columbia River splits this valley.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The concerts happen. So like this backdrop seems like the daytime, but when it gets dark, you don't see that gorgeous forever like view. But so I'm sad when this gets dark because it's like the best backdrop.
That was beautiful, Troy. Thank you. Okay, everyone.
A man with Gucci shoes said that.
Yeah, literally, he will mention his Gucci shoes 10 times tonight. He will mention them 10 times tonight. Like, it's insane. Like,
He's pulling them off.
Fake news.
I thought do not call them guest shoes. He gets really pissed off about that.
Dude,
Okay.
seventh grade, 80.
Maxinista?
That's when guest came out. Swatch. We used to wear Swatch.
You were alive then?
Like that's when we folded up our little things to the corner. That's when that started, and it's nice to be recycled over the years as I've watched some of you youngsters. It's really to proliferate our own culture. It's really
Troy, you don't know how old we are.
This is a great opening.
Okay, cool.
Stand up and do it.
Are we there? Are we there? Are we ready, Jerry? Okay, we want to. I'm sorry.
Please
Okay.
help us.
All right, you ready? Okay, beautiful. Welcome to IRL Alpha. My name is Beegabot, and I'm your host. And here today, we're actually going to talk about gaming, specifically crypto gaming and crypto games that have actually shipped and are playable at this time. So we got a special show for you. We have some people who have games that you can actually play. Some people here have played them before. We're going to discuss what's that like. We've also got, I mean, pretty much he's the top streamer in gaming right now on Twitch. No, you are, dude. Top crypto Wukong streamer. That's a fact. I read the numbers. Okay.
I did literally one stream.
Dude,
By the way,
top
I made my
crypto
son watch it.
Wukong.
I made my son watch it because he's playing it right now.
I'm sorry for him.
Bear Snake's son, watch it. Okay, it's gonna be huge. So we're gonna talk a little bit today about like launching games, dealing with feedback to the community. How do you actually recruit people like Leap to play your game? How much does it cost? You know, like what do you gotta? What kind of in-game assets you gotta get? And I don't know where the future we think is going. But before we do that, let's first introduce who we got on the panel. If you guys can't tell, we got someone who they're not showing their face, and they're not showing it for a very good reason. Because I don't know if you've been on the internet here, but Bored Elon Musk has been one of the characters that has been in crypto Twitter this whole time. You've been a part of, like, if this is an anime, you've had like 4 solid arcs here, like part of so many legendary stories. And now you actually have the Edison metaverse, which people can actually play, go around. An event just happened, Summer Crush. People were in there building, making custom stuff. And you just seem to be involved in everything else. I mean, you're like the person who I think brought OPEP into the masses. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of that tonight. But before we do that, want to introduce yourself. Tell us what you're working on.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, you got the video playing up there. I appreciate it. You know, I like how you said actual playable games like it's a rare thing, but I guess it is. So excited to talk to these guys who are building real things as well. We're doing some stuff together. We'll talk about that. Yeah, you know, some special friends here. I live here in Los Angeles. I don't do a lot of stuff live, but I couldn't say no to all you beautiful
realize
people.
that he doesn't do stuff live? There's this one.
I'm actually at home. Like, there's a guy who's sitting here, and you know, he's moving his hands around, and I'm telling him what to do. But I'm sitting on my lounge chair. But no, it's great. It's great to be here. I'm excited to jump into it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, we'll definitely talk a little bit more about like the kind of the tech you're building on and how you've made the decisions you're doing. But before we do that, we got someone who, I mean, you need no introduction. I feel like you're everyone's, like the Spaces host's favorite Spaces host. I was listening to you last night for 4 hours, hosted a debate between the top ETH nerds and Solana nerds fighting. I've spent, like, I don't even know how many hours of my life listening to Leap Spaces, but it's a lot right now. It's a pretty intense amount. So, Leap, you host pretty much some of the biggest conversations in the space all the time. You've hosted 1,000 debates about gaming, debates about chains, debates about shitcoins, everything in between. So you can pretty much bring you up for anything. But this week, you've made this transition, obviously, as now the top Sun Wukong Black Myth streamer. So what's going on now? What are you working on?
I mean, I'm working on my own thing. It's I won't say too much, but it's a cancer-related thing, so really excited for that. Shout out to St. Jude's. Also, dude, I feel like crypto gaming is probably the most underutilized aspect of the entire space. Between payments and gaming, those are the two things I think people are not focusing enough on. You would think otherwise, but it's true. And excited to jump into the conversation.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you guys haven't seen, Leap's actually raised money. Actually, when people say fuck cancer, he's put his money where his mouth is, been able to raise a quite sizable amount and give it to St. Jude's. And I didn't know this, but St. Jude's, they actually help like solve cancer, okay? I didn't know that. So, yeah, give him a round of applause. Fuck cancer. Shout out to Boosie, okay? Okay, beautiful here. So we'll dive into some more. I don't know if we'll dive into how to solve cancer tonight, but we might. We'll see where things go here, okay? I've got a couple opinions about some new techniques that might work. But before we do that, for the very first time, you don't know what I'm up to, okay? I'm a scientist in my spare time. For the first time on the show, someone who I hear Bear Snake talk like every other week about. You don't understand.
Not that much, not that
You don't know who my partners are. They're
his ego's
amazing. You know
already
who they
big enough.
are.
Fuck.
They're so smart, so cool. I'm the loser of the group. You wait till you meet them all.
Wait a minute.
And then yeah, that is what it is. What he says. It is what he says here. And so this week, you guys haven't seen. It's actually been out now. What is like 5 days? You guys have been in beta. 4 days. The actual Runiverse has been in beta. Actual playable game. People all over the world are playing it pretty much 24/7. There's someone right now grinding, upgrading levels, getting killed. I'm dying a lot right now, so I'm not that good at it here. So Elf of Forgotten Rune Wizard Cult and then of the new Runiverse game here for the first time. What's going on? How are you? Have
Happy
you
to
slept?
be here, man. Thanks for the invite. There's my Twitter account. As you can see, creator and co-founder of Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult, the best cult in NFTs. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, beautiful. There you go.
Well
okay.
done.
Yes. The best cult, that's what we're going for right now. Okay.
Yeah.
The only problem is I know the other cults are competing with. They're kind of scary. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But before we do that, Bear Snake, one of our favorites, member of the community every week. I mean, truthfully, Bear Snake comes to the show every week, and then we just at the end of the show end up talking about old music in the back corner, and then we say we'll talk about gaming next week until finally his game launched, and now I'm playing it all the time, and I'm actually calling him to help me beat different levels, and he says he can't help me, so
He sucks at the game.
He sucks at the game. He's
I
not
haven't even played the game this week.
Yeah, he's very so. No one asked him for actual advice here.
No, I know nothing.
But I know he's been running around for multiple days trying to patch bugs, fix stuff here. Bear, how are you?
He looks good for running around. Let's give it
Thank
up.
you.
Yeah.
Cardio.
Bear, when was the last
Hi.
time you slept?
48 hours.
There we go.
Hi, I'm Bear, the COO and co-founder of Forgotten Runes. We work with Elf and our awesome other partner, Dota. Yeah, and so we're making games and TV shows and comic books and fucking bucking the
We're
trend.
doing
trying
everything
to deliver.
that every other NFT project said they would do.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
actually
there's,
doing it.
there's a handful of other ones that are doing incredible stuff, but I think there's like 10 left, maybe.
Not at the level that we're doing it.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm gonna brag all night about our project, by the way.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, we brought Leap to shit on everything. That's what I literally. Okay,
exactly.
right? He
Can you
promised
cut
me.
it
You
down a little
promised
bit?
me you would talk. Okay. Well, let's just dive in. Okay, so an actual beta came out. A lot of times we all love white papers where I can skim it for a second and then I can hop on a space and talk for 3 hours about how it's gonna make us rich. It's gonna be a revolution. And then when the game comes out or whatever, when it doesn't come out, typically things happen to crash. For you, Leap, as someone who actually has been in space for a while, when do you actually say, I'm going to set time aside, I'm going to play something, I'm going to evaluate and see, is this worth my time?
Dude, I mean, every day I want to play something or just learn something new, especially when it comes to the gaming. I fucking debate Jonah, it feels like 4 times a week about, what's a legitimate Web3 game and what even is a Web3 game at all. So super excited when Bear showed me what they were doing, and yeah, I think it's really fucking cool.
Wait, so
honestly.
do you schedule time? Do you have time in the day where it says play games?
No, I mean, last night I was playing Stardew Valley, and earlier today
Nice
I was
game.
playing Counter-Strike 2, which I fucking suck at. Also, their loot box system is the biggest scam in
Yeah.
the entire world. But yeah, I try to play games when I can.
I was going to say, the Stardew Valley, that's no joke, a game that I've been debating about picking up playing because I have a couple friends that says I've been playing it for 8 years. And
It's
I'm
fun.
like,
It's really
that
fun.
sounds like a good, a good grind for me. So for Web3 stuff, do you have any Web3 games you actually play in your rotation? Or what's the longest Web3 game you've ever played?
Have you ever played a Web3 game?
Yeah, so I've played a few.
He is a Web3 game on Fantasy Top. Okay, sorry.
It's the only type of top. Here's the thing. I don't know. We're just getting off to a bad start.
No, this is great. This is what we need, okay?
start.
It's a great start.
Realistically, so I started, the first one I ever tried was Decentraland, which I still think to this day was an amazing experiment. It just, yeah, I mean, there's a huge problem with DAOs, and they have their own issues. I was big into Sandbox. I've experimented with a lot of the card games, Skyweaver, Gods Unchained, things like that. And I fucked around with a lot of the new stuff, too, that's been coming out. So I've been pretty deep.
What's the longest one that's hooked you?
Dude, I was on Gods Unchained for a long time.
Okay,
For a
yeah.
really long time. I was super deep into everything that Immutables was doing. Yeah, this cycle has just been weird.
Well,
for games.
that's actually a really interesting one because like at one point, Immutable X was like the chain that everyone's saying it's gonna win gaming. Gods Unchained, if you look at like market cap, they were gonna be the winners, and then
They had
Immutable like
300 games.
like 300. Okay, I only heard of Gods Unchained, and like I thought Gary Vee was doing a game there or something that I missed about. But like they seem to like not continue on with that runway. I didn't see hype games on there. Like, were you guys approached by Immutable? Right? They offered you like
yeah.
a Corvette to go on Immutable, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why didn't you choose them?
I
God.
don't like Corvettes.
Okay. Well.
He likes Mustangs.
So the Ronin offered the Ferrari. What was it like?
No. So, you know, when I go around talking to all these like Web3 game publishers, I think it's the first thing that I look for is like, can they actually publish a game and like bring users to the game? And I think Immutable could be an incredible platform with incredible games. I think Zai and Sobi are doing amazing things. I think other people are doing cool stuff. But I just feel like it's so early that no one's actually been battle tested. Everybody's been like biz dev mode and like signing up games that will come to fruition. And that's fine. I think it can work to like sign up hundreds of games. I'm not really interested in that kind of like relationship because I want someone who's like really paying attention to us and like white gloving us and making sure that like they are executing at the highest level for our product, right? And so, you know, ultimately that's why we chose Ronin. And by the way, I didn't know anything about Ronin, and we should get into it because I don't think most people here know about Ronin, and I've learned about it over the past like 7-8 months.
They wine and dined you though.
Yeah,
They
sure.
wooed you. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was steak dinner. Was that the start, or how'd it go?
You don't even
I
want
don't
to
know.
know.
I'm about to start a game to start like trying. I want some steak dinners, and like I'm just trying to figure it out.
So when I met them, they were like, they just said a couple things. They were like, listen, we've been here for 6-7 years. We've gotten our nuts kicked in.
They
and
did Axie Infinity.
They did Axie Infinity, right? And so they actually have like I think all-time high volume or whatever. Like it's still Axie. So they have like a proven case study. They have like guilds and like active community members. They they got hacked for $650 million.
I think a couple
that would
times.
destroy most companies. They're not dead.
600 million's a little bit of money, you know.
It's just
a
pocket change.
little bit.
But they're like they got hammered down. They stood back up, and now they're like coming into this next phase. And they're very they do a lot of due diligence, and they're trying to curate a small group of games that they believe in. And so to me, that was way more attractive than like being one of 300.
I got you. That's a great thing. If gonna woo you for a game, it's like no, you can't have 300 games. I want to be the only game. Okay, me, Axie, Pixels. Is that? It's like that's kind of like the Ronin crew.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's one of the issues we should talk about. It's like, how come anyone in the United States doesn't really fucking know anything about Ronin for the most part? That's an exaggeration. And I think like, well, we don't need to get into
Well, no,
it.
that is it. Like so, like Leap, you're on Spaces every day. When is Ronin brought up?
Like never.
Dude, I mean, like Jonah will bring it up once in a while,
Yeah.
or like Hantao, or people that are on that side. I mean, I knew them from Axie, from the last cycle, but the problem with Axie is you had to basically put down a few ETH to even get involved. You had to buy 3 Axies, and why people don't know about Ronin is probably the same reason why people only have 3 topics that they talk about in crypto Twitter. It's like a couple specific NFT projects that people like to kind of crowd around, whatever meme coin is hot for the day, and then just shitting on some influencer.
Yeah.
That's the 3 topics.
Yeah. I think
If we combine those, we can have a killer show,
we
dude.
will.
We gotta-
That's actually really good. I think about Ronin and the response or relationship with like English-speaking countries, specifically North America, almost like anime in like the 80s, right, or 90s. If you watched anime in the 80s or 90s, you were a fucking weirdo. And like you didn't have any friends, or you just had other friends that watched anime. And now it's like a cultural movement. Now it's, I mean, you were saying it's like it's not cool to not watch.
Oh, they keep
anime.
making fun of me because I don't know. I've never watched a One Piece episode, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Neither have I.
Yeah, but I think there's like a cultural gap, right? And so it feels foreign and it feels arm's length. They, it's another chain, it's another wallet maybe, although it's EVM, so you can use MetaMask. So, I think there's an evolution to all of these chains and all these ecosystems. I'm stoked because I want players to actually play my game. And I think it's kind of cool to like have a game that's a little bit more global, right? It kind of hurts though. I mean, like most of our peers, our friends don't know about Ronin. And so there's this thing where we're like, we really want our community in the US to like understand and come in. And they are if they're in the cult. But I think there's a gap and we have a lot of work to do. But there is a huge void there.
Bear, do you know these? When you're expressing the fact that they're not as like loud or as known, and they should be. Do you ever like, as an in honesty, like say that to them? Like, what are you all doing and hoping to get besides just our game and the other games? To, like,
Yeah, Bear, you ever yell at them and say, "Hey, make more content about our game, you jerks! I made you a game."
Without being, with all
No,
due respect.
listen. I think part of the reason, and this is my thoughts. They can confirm it themselves. I think they looked at us. We're an ETH-based project that has a lot of respect. We're not the biggest, but we're still here and we're stronger, right? We built a real game 3 years, leading up to this Monday, and they want to enter into this space. And guess what? I want to enter their space, and so like you have this relationship where it's a two-way street. They're getting something out of it. We're getting something out of it. And it's a long road to sort of make that, to bridge that gap. But I mean, that's how I kind of see it.
Well, like even Lee, back in the day, you were hosting those late night spaces, and it actually bridged over to a lot of like other communities. It seems you end up doing like late night, like you pull on the other time zones here. How do you like keep in touch with? I know everyone's like BRC20's run because China loved them, and you got to keep your pulse on China. And I'm like, I don't know how to keep my pulse on China. But like, how do you interact with those other communities to know what's going on?
I mean, so there's definitely so I always say this, there's multiple internets and there's definitely multiple Twitters. And your experience on Twitter is so subjective. I could be sitting next to somebody and our perception of sentiment or a narrative is completely different based on what the algorithm shows us, or algorithm rather. I've been talking too much about
Yeah, dude, Algorand, that was a nice shill. If you would have kept going, that would have been
everyone
nice.
keeps thinking that I have a bag of Algorand. I really don't. I just think the name is funny. But here's the thing with gaming that I think is a big issue is when people think about Web3 gaming, they associate that immediately with play to earn. And I mean, fuck it. If I can play games and earn money, that's phenomenal. And I think there's definitely a place for that. But considering the majority of games were just financial staking mechanisms with some UI and some like nice graphical assets on top of it, that is a big issue. So I'm genuinely not surprised that people are not interested in terms of the audience that we typically engage in. And anecdotally, if I start talking about Web3 games, and I'm a gamer at heart, I try to play games for at least an hour and a half every day. Like it's important to me to do that. But if I start talking about games on the space, genuinely the numbers drop by 50% within minutes. Maybe that's Jonah's fault, but
it's kind of. I want to have.
Well,
this
people
one.
who are in crypto
ahead,
don't want to play games. They want to make money.
Yeah, in this space because they've been taught or told that that's the possibility or they've heard it. But like I was just telling Board outside, last year my mom was on her Facebook game or whatever, and I was on the couch and I was like, Mom, she was like really engrossed in it as she should be, right? And I said, Mom, if you could like do the same thing but make money as you're doing the exact same thing without knowing it, would you? And she goes, No, I'm okay. And it's just like because the game is good, and we've already been trained to watch movies for free at home, versus paying in the theater, and we're trained to that. Now everything comes with what can I get out of it, rather than make the thing good,
Yeah.
I think it's a regional thing. Like in Southeast Asia, people play games because they're fun, but also because of capital. And that capital goes very far. Where they live in the U.S. and the Western regions, they play for social capital. Right? I want to be able to stream this and look cool. I want to meet my friends and look cool. I want to be able to entertain myself. And yeah, like if you're playing games for an hour and a half a day, and I told you you could make $10 at the same time, you might say yes, but also you don't give a shit. You're like, yeah, whatever.
Because I'm having fun. I'm not going to play for an hour and a half because you're going to pay me $10. And so I think that's a reality we have to just come to grips with. And I think also just from a region perspective, people all over the world play video games. There's cultural nuances. If you go to a video game store in Japan, there will be a bunch of games that like look very foreign to you and you've never seen them. If you go to a GameStop here, if they still exist, like they're very different. So I think you guys made a good choice because the overlap of people who are in crypto and like playing video games and play for as long as you do per day is actually tiny. And they need real players because they're a legitimate company that wants people to play their video games, and it doesn't matter what language they speak or where they live. They made the best choice I think you could make at this time.
And by the way, if our whole audience is in Asia and the game's working, I don't give a shit. I don't like bragging about my shit anyway. Like if it's working over there, that's fine. I mean, I want my friends to like see the things that we're making. But maybe it's a fool's errand, right?
And
maybe
if it gets
ego.
big over there, you've made it. If you and anything you do, if you're big in Asia, I mean, look at Patrick Amadon. He's a foreign agent from China.
That's not what you want to be big in Asia. You don't get arrested. Well, no, but there is a hard thing if you end up with your audience like somewhere else, and like okay, your audience is in Asia, and then you're in Venice every day. Like, how do you understand actually what they want? You know what I mean? Like, you have to.
That's why I'm on the phone like till 2 in the morning all the
But
time.
what are you doing? You're just talking to you got a translator on one
knows
end, and
Mandarin.
you're like, what are they saying? Okay, like
Well, a lot of Filipinos speak English.
you can speak 2 languages.
confirmed.
Seems cocky, but like you can do it. If you
I
want.
mean, I don't know. I don't even remember what the question was.
No, it's like how do you know like you're tapped in with this culture then? If you end up
That's
with an
why
audience
we're
that's
with
somewhere
Ronan.
else.
Yeah, Ronan knows what's
That's
up.
why they
So
know what's
Ronan-
up.
Yeah.
I'm learning, right? I mean, like I came into this space and I learned what's happening in this space, like kind of, I guess. And now I'm going over there and trying to like educate myself. So I don't know.
How do you use like because there's many chains, right? If I got a new game coming out. If I'm going to announce it right now, okay, I haven't designed what the game is
What's
or
it
what it's
called?
about. I just know that I'm taking steak dinners from chains to be wooed by them. So I might do Arbitrum, I might do Zai, I might do Ronin, right? So I'm trying to figure like what is the actual relationship with one of those companies? Like what does it look like on like? Are you talking to like someone from Ronin every day?
Yeah, I was just talking to like 20 people on the call right before this. Yeah, I mean, and Michael's here. He's from Bisonic. He's the game developer that we work with. Yeah, I mean,
You got to get back to work, dude. You got to get there. We got surfers.
He
Like,
just
no,
got off the
no.
phone. You know, it's like it's highly. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of detail. It's highly orchestrated to like launch a game, and so, you know, it's you need like this is why there's publishers. This is PlayStation, Xbox. These are platforms that people bring their games to so they can get distribution, so they can get into those stores and people buy their games, right? And they like fend for top placement in the stores, and that's a whole entire other thing. And so I think for us is like we made the game, we have a community. I think is going to be an amazing game. I think it's right in the beginning. We unfortunately decided to make an MMO, which was probably pretty stupid. It's really hard, but like it'll get there, right? And so I think I just think you have to do your job really well. You can't do all the jobs well. You have to partner with people who have other expertise, and so you make the thing, and someone else helps you distribute it.
That might actually be like an interesting thing to go to like Borderline because you're working with Improbable, right? And so they are known for being the people who are trying to help empower the other side. Other side has very ambitious plans. Edison Metaverse also has some ambitious plans. Like, how do you work with them, partner like daily? Are you just on call saying like, give me more people in the server, and then they're saying we can't do it, or?
I think they're a technology company, so like if they're Amazon Web Services, they're the pipes. They're powering this thing that I could never build by myself. But what they need is they need Netflix, they need Disney Plus, they need Hulu, they need audiences, and they need people who are talent who are going to put on these big events. And so that's what we're the layer on top of that. But like to create something that they're building, which is like we're going to host 10,000, 20,000 people in one space concurrently. There's very few companies in the world who can do that. And that's why I decided to work with them. But it's a relationship where it's like they're the engineers and we're the talent, and we bring them the eyeballs they need.
Like so right now, because you're doing like events, kind of almost like are they like week long, or how do you like strategize?
Yeah, I mean, we started with the idea of like, what would it feel like if you had an event at the Las Vegas Sphere, but instead of this in-person event, it's actually online and you can access it through your browser. That's the feeling we want to get to. So the goal is, let's recreate this feeling of thousands of people who can talk to each other, who can see their avatars running around. And we tried doing it for like 30 minutes at a time, 60 minutes at a time, and not everybody's available around the world at the same moment. So we extended these games to an hour, to a week, right? So just jump in whenever you want to. But the goal really is, how can we get as close as possible to going to a Coachella or a Burning Man, but then making it feel fun and making it something you can access from anywhere in the world? That's what we want to do. We're building to get to that point. And right now, it's really just proving that we can ship, right? Like, we're showing games that are real. People can play them. We're not going to put up a white paper together. We're not going to sell $10 million worth of plots of land that maybe will become something. We're just showcasing this is real, and the goal is to keep doing that faster and faster, and eventually we want to have massive crowds and just be a hub on what will basically be the future of the internet, a 3D internet. People call it the metaverse. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but that's the goal. That's what we want to contribute to.
You see, the one thing I had to do is, and I got Leap next week. It's like, how do you get Leap to show up when you didn't pay him? Like, how can you actually get him to show up to one of these events here naturally?
I mean, just hearing you say that you enjoyed Decentraland and Sandbox, I was like, you know what? We've got some stuff you might enjoy. But also, I do think like I'm accepting of the fact that pretty much everyone on this stage doesn't have time to play games, right? So maybe he's not the right audience, right? Maybe it's like his younger brother, hypothetically, if he has one who's 18 years old. Like, maybe that's who I have to go after. Like if I don't have time to play more than a couple hours of video games a day and I'm in this crypto space, I don't know if I'm the right target. I think honestly, a lot of people in this world have been going after the wrong customer. I think crypto people are playing the RPG of trading, status signaling, and they are not good game players. So I'm still figuring that out, to be honest. But I would love for you to try Edison at some point, Lee. I'm pressuring you on stage.
It's awesome, by the way. We did something with
Yeah,
them last
Lee,
time.
play
It
it,
was
Lee.
great.
No, I'm joking. No, leave no shit on it. Here we go. Let's hear it.
No, I would love to play it. But Bear, you mentioned, and we actually talked about potentially doing something in the past. We got to make it happen, sort of thing. Bear, you mentioned something about distribution too. I'm interested in what everybody thinks. I mean, that's the fucking problem, is that these chains, like, it's like if Amazon built AWS before they actually built their, their audience, their customer base, so on and so forth. So these chains, they raise a ton of money, and they use that basically to acquire you for your distribution, which is the complete opposite way that the real world works. You have platform, like look at Apple. They charge 30%, which is
Because they can.
Because they
They're a
can.
fire hose.
Because they have, and it sucks, but they have the distribution. It's the same reason why somebody would launch exclusive on a game console for whatever reason, and yeah, but these chains are just not.
Yeah.
They're not thinking that way.
I think part of the strategy for us to like compensate for that is make a game that's free and it's not token gated. It's browser based, right? So just like boards. So you can go to a website and start playing the game. Start an account, create a character, and just start playing. And I think the hope here is that if you own one of our NFTs or there's definitely benefits to that, but we have to make sure that those benefits don't outweigh the opportunity for people who are just coming in to play for free. And so obviously that's very difficult to do. We were talking about like balancing very, very complex economies. But I think that's our hope, right? Is like we just make it free, and you don't even need to fucking connect a wallet. There's no blockchain integration. You can just play it and grind to like level 20. That's it. You can craft all the stuff. It's an MMO, whatever. And then, maybe you realize along the way that you have this like armor, rainbow armor. And someone's like, holy shit, you have that rainbow armor? They're like, I'll buy that from you. And they're like, what are you talking about? So again, this is very experimental, but like this is the idea of like getting people in, lowering the barrier entry. There's no wallet. You just start playing a game. But you have to have the game be good.
The other aspect, going back to like the metaverse or whatever you want to call it kind of thing, is that, and like whether Leap would play it or not, is that, or the game might not be a fit for some people, is that not everybody's going to be a gamer, but there are a lot of humans that are going to be spectators of that. They already do it on YouTube. They're already going, I want to watch Began play this thing, and he has his thing, and there's like an economy there, possibly, right? That could be, but obviously make the game first. But that whole spectatorship is also an aspect of it.
I'm not playing Black Myth Wukong. I'm literally only watching people play it here. I'm having enough fun with that. I'm watching reviewers break it down, and then somebody, your review was actually terrible, I'm better than you. And yeah, I don't even care. That's literally enough for me. My computer won't play all the games I want to play. So I do think it's hard, though, because I know a lot of games are designed actually for that. Valorant was made to be very colorful and easy to visually parse. And if you do a tournament, it's supposed to be like, you can all watch this. Other games are meant just to be fun. And if you watch it, I play Factorio. From the outside, everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? This looks like
what the fuck are you doing?
Gibberish. Dude, it's a fantastic game. I'll pill you on it later, okay? But like, do you guys think about that when you're designing games? Like you're saying, okay, how do I make it look good on a stream? Or are you only thinking about that individual player?
No, the art looks pretty good in the game.
No, but like even the art, like, but what about even like I'm saying the experience, like what's it like? Like people like watching like Fortnite Battle Royales blew up because someone's like, oh, are they gonna be number one? Let's see. Oh my god, and they get to this point and dead. Okay, next one. What's gonna happen? It's an easy like I can drop in for 20 minutes and be like, what's gonna happen? Same with League of Legends. I can watch one match and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. Let's see how it goes.
It's a strong concern, but I don't think we ever have really talked about that.
I also don't think MMOs are really like that streamable of a category.
That said, we have had
World of Warcraft is
streamers
one of the top
yeah.
stream games. Right now, World of Warcraft is the third top stream game today. I guarantee, probably, if you go to Twitch.
But is it like a hyper sort of concentrated group of people? You know, because like a lot of people will stream people playing video games that they don't play themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens.
I think people who watch World of Warcraft play World of Warcraft.
And who? You think what?
Well, it's okay. So it's mostly creator based. Like Asmongold is one of the biggest World of Warcraft streamers in the world, and there's like a few other people that are really. I played World of Warcraft for over a decade, and
that's why I brought him here.
I mean, I was hardcore MMO.
Wow.
I mean, like even like what you were mentioning, that you were saying, oh, it's experimental for it to kind of like be free, no wallet, all this stuff. Like it's experimental in crypto. I mean, look at old school RuneScape. You just fucking start playing it, and if you want to go past Varrock, then you buy the membership. But the thing with World of Warcraft or games like RuneScape or anything that is non-spectator, so something that's not Deadlock, Valorant, CS2, whatever, is they're so creator-based. And here's the reality in Web3 is that there's not really that many good Web3 gaming creators.
Yeah.
And the ones that do exist, let's just be honest, a lot of them are grifters. They won't play things if they don't get paid. You were making a joke about like, how did I get here without getting paid? I've been taking a sponsor in almost a year. I just made a decision a while back that I'm not going to do it. I still will work with like.
You should do it sometime.
At some point,
Take
I
one
will.
leave, just
At-
one.
At some point, I will, possibly very soon.
Get paid to be here too?
No. But I did work with Nifty Island, right? So
Which
Nifty-
we love, Charles.
Yeah.
That team is amazing.
Charles he's a stud for sure, and he very sharp, and yeah, I had a good experience with them, but like there's just not enough there's like nobody stream, like you were saying, oh, I'm the biggest Web3 streamer. That is sad. If I'm the biggest Web3 streamer, that means no one else is streaming. I remember I was streaming Decentraland one time on Twitch, and I was the biggest streamer in the world on Decentraland.
No,
you want to know how many viewers I had? 15.
Jesus fuck.
Killing it.
That's
Well,
a
when I-
problem.
You're building a category,
That's
okay?
a problem.
Well, when I came from Maker Studios, where I mean, I didn't come directly here, but long time ago, we were like a network for YouTubers, right? We had like PewDiePie and Markiplier, all these people, and I was used to hundreds of millions and millions and tens of millions, and then I remember you called me, and actually before Wizards we started talking. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on? He's like, okay, so this person's an influencer and this. I'm like, they have like 2,000 followers on Twitter. Dog.
They're
What is
huge on
even
Spaces. You
going
gotta
on?
hear them.
And it was, but you're right. It's a high signal for how freaking early the space is still.
Well, there's nothing to, I think, like Asmongold's an example where if you say Asmongold, you think World of Warcraft. You think cheap stakes, bugs, and World of Warcraft, but like he's got one game that is his thing. And I think a bunch of streamers, they have like a flagship game we know him for. And I think so many of the Web3 gamer creators, it's another game this week, more games this week. Today we're going to cover the top 10 new games this week. And it's like,
And all those games are paying them. In a YouTube, they
Well, I'm not
start
getting
by
paid.
themselves in their bedroom. No one gives a shit about them, and they're just doing because they like it. And then if they break through, then maybe they're getting some sponsorship money. But here, it's like it's literally pay to play from day one. I know that we spoke to. I've spoken to a lot of these people, and it is crazy the amount of money they were asking for.
give me some prices, okay?
I mean,
I'm thinking about making a transition.
There was one group that was asking for $40,000 a month, and I get more engagement.
Wait,
than
what do they do? How do I get the 40K? Tell me.
They write tweet threads and shit.
Oh, that's fire. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's
an
good.
easy one.
By the way, I'm not ragging on influencers. I think
No,
it's-
you should.
No, but I just think it's like you came up because you're doing shit that you're interested in, you're talking about, and you're really talented at what you do. These people feel very predatory. I mean, you just said it. You're not taking sponsorship dollars.
I mean, I have just for the record.
No, I know you have,
for
and you
sure.
should, because you have a skill and you have a value you can bring to people. But these people are like, I'm only basically doing this to make money. And again, that's okay, but I also think it also skews because if a shitty game has a bunch of money to spend in marketing, well, they're gonna get the loudest horn, right? So
Well, I was telling, I've been trying to sell courses about how to become successful like Leap. And look, I've got the strategy. If you guys want to do it, it's so easy. Just stream every day for 8 hours a day for 1 year. Just it's easy, guys. 1 year, 8 hours of spaces. It's not that hard. It's a quick little hack, guys. I dare anyone to get a month in. I swear to God, you will lose your mind after 1 month.
Bleep, you should do like Bless did, but like in a locked thing, just a space for like just water, 24 hours.
That's good.
8
Water,
glasses.
No, your
Water
streak. How
fast.
long was your streak for?
I did a really long streak at one point, but
I don't even know if
How
you know
long?
about
How
Bless,
long?
but yeah, that's
well, I don't know what the longest I've gone with. I remember in 2022 to probably till I moved to LA. The only times I didn't do spaces was when I went to conferences. So it was 7 days a week, basically for a year and a half. But you mentioned the 40,000 price range. This is so insane that I'm even saying this.
Say it.
But like the reality is that is unfortunately what it costs in Web3. And there's such a dude, the content game and the influencer game is so fucked in Web3 now. Because it's like so Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, he has this clip that's been going viral recently where he mentions that, what was it, NBC or whatever?
Yeah, they wanted to buy his pilot.
Yeah, they had this so crazy deal like financially in terms of how much they got paid. And what Jason was saying was, dude, it fucked the media industry after that, because now every other actor expected to be paid this much, prices started to increase, and it just goes crazy. And the same thing happened in crypto, where now like a KOL of sort probably won't talk about your thing unless you give them 5 figures minimum.
But this is just, I've seen that happen like 3 times because I'm old as fuck. Like you see the cycles, and it's fine that it happens. It's just like it's just a very high signal for like an immature business. And then people like yourself, like you're actually good at what you do. You have morals. You like.
I just want to say I have asked for those prices.
You
before.
should.
Like I'm
no,
not.
No, but by the way,
like,
you're 20 times bigger than those people. I'm no one, and I get more engagement than them.
I'm saying, like, actually, borderline, like, you've been in the space, you've been an authentic, like, figure, like, how do you interact with these, like, KOLs and look at prices like this?
I mean, honestly, I just do the math, and I'm like, how much can I get in Facebook ads and Google search ads? And usually it's a lot better because I can just optimize that, and they can say exactly what I want them to say. I have not had good experiences, and ultimately I look at audiences like you need to have millions of people to break through, especially if you're a KOL or an influencer on Twitter. Like Twitter doesn't convert. Like nobody leaves Twitter. They're just sitting there and scrolling. They're not going to go play your game. They're probably on their phone. So, I mean, I think the biggest mistake I made, honestly, was just focusing so much on Twitter. I think the people who build up Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, they're killing it because they actually are driving people to buy stuff and spend money.
So interesting, like paid ads don't work in crypto. Like if we did paid ads, people would be like, fuck you.
The format doesn't look right when you have like.
Well, you look lame. You look lame. You're paying for
like
views.
Snapchat and then TikTok. It's like you want to buy every little thing for $20. It's $20. It's right then and there. The person's talking to you. It's not like that doesn't look scammy like how as we have Twitter format now. You're right.
So this is one of the problems we see a lot. Like where like the loudest voices are not necessarily your customers, right? You look on Twitter Space, you're like, this guy's arguing on Twitter Spaces. Then I guess that's the person I need to recruit. And it's like that person's not going to ever play your game. They're going to be on a Twitter Space tomorrow talking about whatever the new drama is, right? And like. You actually need customers who probably will not be maybe online tweeting all day. They'll be playing your game all day, but like that's not who you see. Like how do you know you're actually talking with a gamer for real and not just like, I don't know, wasting your time on.
Yeah, and to be clear, I'll pay $40,000 a month if you can deliver. I think that's the difference.
Well, what does delivering look like?
This is data analytics. Like you look at ROI. You're going to spend X amount of dollars. How much conversion are you going to get? How much earned media and just like sort of hype and like general awareness are you going to get? It's hard to calculate it, but like I'm pretty good at understanding what someone can deliver for me, and I think that's fine. It's important to work with the 1% of creators. It's how our whole entire culture works. I think it's beautiful, and you just have to know what you're doing, right?
Well, like Board, you're looking at other platforms, right? Like, which ones are you finding you're actually getting some like actual inroads with? TikTok, YouTube, Twitch.
I mean, TikTok, despite my personal feelings about it, actually is converting really, really well. But I think to that point, like you have to actually build, if you want to compete seriously and build a brand new game, a brand new franchise that didn't exist, that's competing against Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, whatever's already out there, you basically do need to give creators something that is really interesting and gives them good content. You can't just give them money and be like, hey, go make this sort of mediocre game interesting. Like, games are not consumables. When you watch a movie or a book or whatever it is, you've finished it, and then you moved on to the next thing. You can play League of Legends and World of Warcraft for 15 years, and people are not going to leave. They've put all that time into it. So you're trying to like pull new people into something that you've just created. And I think that, even what you guys are doing is tough, right? Like to create an MMO that competes with other MMOs is really tough. You said it, you know it. So I think to some degree, and like this is what we're doing with Edison, we want to create stuff that basically gives somebody a funny, interesting piece of content that goes viral on TikTok, and they show it off for 2 weeks, and then we go build the next game. And we just keep rinsing and repeating that. Because I can't compete against like EA and Epic Games. There's no way.
But you're patient. You understand like, there's like a ladder that you have to climb to get to the top, right? You're calculated. So, we're the same way. That's why we get along, and that's why we work together. And, it's like every step that we take, we feel like we really need to earn, right? And so I'll outlive everybody. We'll outlive I'll do this for 50 fucking years. We'll be like Wizards of the Coast, right? They started in the 70s, and no one really cared about them, and then they sell for what, like $2.5 billion to, I forget what.
Well, they made the most complex, deep game of all time.
But they
most important
but they
game
were
of all time.
patient.
Okay, that's Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
But
they were patient.
But like I'm with that, right? But I think one thing is so many of the games we're talking about, they actually do enable creators to live full time off the games. Any of the major games, someone can be like, I play goddamn Civilization. There are multiple YouTubers who are making many, like, you know, $500,000 a year just posting, hey guys, I beat them with Abraham Lincoln. Like, it doesn't matter because there's an audience like for that. This is true. I've seen the numbers, you know? So like every game has people who like can live off it if enough people are playing it. You know, like, but you need to support the other side. If you don't have Twitch streamers, I feel like in a game, you're kind of screwed right now. Like, I don't know of that many games that are like Black Wukong. If you go on right now, it's number 3 on Twitch right now. So,
You said it exactly. So the best games in the world will provide you such phenomenal, fantastic content where the company doesn't have to pay you because you're making, like, it's so, that's why games like Fortnite or even like Dark and Darker was a decent streaming game, or like Among Us, all these games create moments that are so easily monetized. The problem with the crypto community is we're so siloed to one application, and this one specific application has the most dog shit streaming infrastructure out of any application ever. And not only that, shout out to Elon, a different Elon.
yeah, the other Elon.
Dude, it's like they don't even have like in-app supporting of creators. So
He goes and plays Diablo too. Like he's a user of his own product, and he doesn't realize how bad it is.
Well, so this is the thing. Because people don't leave Twitter, there's no money in just like moving over to Twitch or Kick and trying to create an entirely new audience there. So it's like you can't really make money off the games. Like some of these games are good enough to make, you know, content off and people will want to watch you play them, but you're stuck on Twitter. I mean, the only ever money I made streaming was on Kick when I shaved my head. It had nothing to do with crypto.
That's great content, though.
No,
it was okay.
Well, no, I'm with it. Well, right now it is tough because like Twitter is going after video streaming is the hardest thing to possibly do. And I'm like, as a tech nerd, like video streaming is the hardest. Audio is easy. Text is easy as fuck comparatively, right? And it's expensive to do video. So the fact that Elon is like trying to go after video streaming, it's admirable. Twitch is ahead by 1,000,000 trillion miles. Justin TV pioneered this category.
Yeah, but they're owned by Amazon, and they're getting like
they're owned by
ceiling on their head, and that whole exec team.
But they're also owned by a company who has the greatest infrastructure on earth ever to build off. They have AWS, they have the servers to literally like they can be the most scaled platform for video of all time. Elon is competing with a monster on that side, so it is tough. I'm hoping like features will improve. I don't know. I mean, we're streaming right now on X and YouTube,
and it works great. But there should be at least some sort of in-app donation thing. Like I know that Twitter has tips. It's not intuitive. It's not good enough. That's the fact. If there was in Twitter or in X streaming with all the features that Twitch and Kick has, like subscriber emotes and badges and all the little accoutrements that communities like to have, galaxies, whatever the heck. If you have that, all of a sudden, crypto games can skyrocket. I truly believe the platform is a problem.
That is a great point. Like if you look at, I'm a Twitch streamer, I'm a Twitch partner even, and I know if you are a like actual Twitch partner making money full time from it, half your money is from donations, right? It's from donations and subs. And so if you don't have any way of doing that, how are you going to make money? Like the ads, if there's not even an ad infrastructure, there's ad infrastructure for YouTube and Twitch. There's no ad infrastructure for live Twitter right now.
You're asking them to go create an entirely new audience to stream these games.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. I mean, there were companies like I think it was a Valhalla that.
Oh yeah, dude, memories.
They tried to do like a decentralized Twitch streaming thing.
I missed that.
I don't know what happened with that, but Kick is really. I'm pretty sure they're releasing a token. In their roadmap it said. Creator currency.
I feel like that sounds right.
It sounds right too.
The company backed by the gambling company is going to release a token? That sounds like a little interesting.
I know you can't see it, but K-Money and some people want you to say Mog. But
dude, they've been trying to force me for 6 months.
Don't let him say the word, okay? Like, have you seen when he says it? The price goes up. It's wild. It's like Roaring Kitty mentioning, doing those GME live streams. Any word. Okay, I'm sorry. He's never said the word out loud ever in his life.
It's like the word Voldemort.
Yeah, it's a dangerous one here.
This is like, there's so many different types of games out there. But for the people on Twitter that kind of tune out for whatever reason, what you were saying earlier, like what makes a good game in your eyes before you get to deliverables? Because it's that inspiration. Like, what keeps them coming back? What are the elements that you look for? And what are in your game, by the way? This one that you're just talking about, just for people that may not like pull over for games,
Elf should answer that.
What makes a good game?
Yeah, it's like asking like what makes a good story to me, but I could tell that.
Well, there's so many different kinds of games, but as far as
Exactly.
an RPG goes, I think the ability for the player to feel like they're progressing, and not just progressing in the story, but like leveling up their character and gaining prestige and getting new armor and money and all of that. I think that's what makes a good RPG, which I think is really cool because I can see parallels between that and just social media in general. It's like leveling up on Twitter is getting a lot of followers and likes. And leveling up in an RPG is literally leveling up. I think there's a really good parallel and overlap between these two, this genre of game and Twitter. And it's especially important in crypto. I think there's a lot of overlap between an RPG and what makes crypto awesome. An RPG has a really complex economy, so there's 1,000 ways to insert a token into that. But yeah, I mean, those are the sort of things that we're looking at.
No, I am a person who I like, I guess, grindy games a little bit. You know what I mean?
It's fun to grind.
I
makes
want to
sense.
collect things and grind and say, okay, I've got 12 of these. I need 100 to get that. Once I get 100, I will have a better armor, which will help me collect more of them, which will help me get the better armor.
It's so weird because grinding seems like this mindless, repetitive thing, but it is just fun.
No, it's like
just fun.
It's meditative, relaxing
Yeah.
sometimes for some stuff.
I wanted to ask these two, if you could pick a category of game that you feel like fits into crypto, what do you think that is? Is it FPS? Is it MMO? Is it like a casual mobile game? It's a really good conversation because ultimately I think you could have success in all of them, but I think some are a little bit more sort of, you can accept it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two big categories. One is the RPG, but a passive RPG. Like I can go F around on Twitter and do what I'm doing, make some decisions, some strategy choices, and then I see things happening in the background, and I check in once in a while, and I see, oh, cool, I leveled up, I accomplished something. The other is social connection. I think especially if you look at games like Fortnite and Minecraft, people just hang out in the games, right? And I always think about, like, we hang out on Twitter Spaces, we do stuff like this, but what's an enhanced version of that? What can you do in a digital world that you can't do in the real world and make that fun? I think that's the unexplored category and genre that no one's quite nailed in crypto gaming. I think you guys are starting to touch on it in a big way. I think what we're going after is also doing that. But yeah, it's like the social connection, but it has to be better than what you can do in real life already.
Yeah.
I played a game a few years ago.
Liar.
I was writing story lore for, and
You never played a game?
wait, no, I played
Fucking liar.
And it was talking about just what you were saying, and it was like a Twitter space, but visualized like PFPs like people have, and you can shoot like arrows at each other and fireballs while an in-depth conversation or a joke's going on. It's like, hey, like there's Leap over there. I'm going to shoot a fireball at him, but it's obviously not hurting him because he's a human being and it's just a game. But it was an interactive thing, and you'd scan your phone around your house, and it turned into a talk show room. But there was hundreds of people in there, and it was really cool.
I mean, like, show of hands, does anybody remember HQ Trivia? It was a mobile game with
yeah.
Quizmaster and all that. And like that was like the #1 app for a while, and that was communal, social gaming, very light gaming, but no one's been able to crack that and recreate that. And I think like that's where we need to go. Even more immersive though, right? Not like just a basic quiz show.
We did that Halloween thing with you last year, right?
Yeah, it's great.
What was it called? Nightmare
Nightmare
Run.
Run,
Yeah.
I like how he pretends
glad
like he
you
doesn't know
remembered that.
exactly what the name is.
No, but what was so fun about it is like the game mechanic was just like everybody running through a maze and trying to get to the end. But there were so many social components layered on top of it. For one, like you, me, and Dota were commentators, overseeing the whole thing. But then at the end, there was this ridiculous dance party. And that was the best part of the whole experience because you can make your character dance. And I feel like that was more fun than the actual game itself.
Yeah, it's like live action role play, but not as nerdy. And I think even like Twitter Spaces, you probably feel this. Like people come on stage, they're not themselves. They're characters, right?
Exactly.
And they're LARPing basically, and some of them are dicks, and some of them are pretending to be something they're not, smarter than they actually are. Let's take it to the next level. Like, why don't you have a skin too? Why don't you just be somebody else? Why don't you be some weirdo with a helmet on instead of who you are in real life? I think that's where we need to go. That's the crypto intersection with gaming.
But this is one of the big problems too, because so many. If you want to raise money, for the biggest thing in the world. We're going to say, what are the biggest games of all time? I'm going to make a AAA MMORPG FPS shooter that's going to have the biggest tournaments of all time. right? And if you look at like how we can actually, what we can build with smaller dev teams, you know, like GTA has like the most insane amount of developers possible, right? It is so many people. World of Warcraft, intense dev teams. Among Us did not, right? It actually didn't, but that was a purely fun social game. The graphics were much less, but it's a simpler social fun thing. And everyone who wants to raise money in crypto, often they're trying to go after like the biggest thing in the entire world. Versus Twitter Spaces are way more fun than like, I don't even know, 1,000 other interactive versions of media we do right now. It is one of the most interactive types of media we can do right now. And we saw like with the, what was it called, the Crypto the Game, they're doing kind of a survivor thing, voting people off.
Yep.
There's 1,000 little game variations we could have where it would just be, okay, great, we're playing something tonight on Twitter Spaces and you're getting voted off. Every hour someone gets voted off until blank is happening. But the problem is everyone wants to raise money. I want to raise 100 million saying I'm building World of Warcraft only with crypto. It'll be $1 billion. So like.
So, I mean, also I saw that Tari, it's like Tari Universe up there too. Shout out
Yeah,
to
somebody built one of those inside the the Summer Crash.
Shout out to Naveen. So I think, so I always thought initially when I thought about crypto gaming, something like a Pokemon Go would be really popular. There were iterations of that, and I know of a couple. It's just very difficult, and it's just hard to strike lightning twice. Obviously, things you can collect. I figured that card games would be phenomenally successful.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, because you can't balance them. Imagine you spend $10,000, like 3-4
Too
ETH.
much money.
No, but like imagine you spend 3-4 ETH, which is, let's just be honest, crypto terms is not insane. Like people spend that on NFTs all the time. Well, like in games, the whole point is like there's power creep. They release new cards, new sets, whatever it might be. Well, you can't release something later that's better than the card that someone just spent $15,000 on. That was a huge issue in Gods Unchained. Like you can't, like it's just a massive. There's no way to fix it.
That's the issue with all NFTs, like how to constantly release a new NFT without inflating the supply. It's impossible.
Well, no, this is the thing too. I always say for card games, you look at Magic the Gathering, that is the most intensely scrutinized, reviewed. People are playing it 24/7. Balance in that game is it is a full-time job of many people, a challenge, decades of experience. Like to release a brand new card game, like who is it? Not who released Valorant? Riot released their own game. What was it called? Like Artifact, their card game, and it was a total flop. And they had all these balance problems, and like they couldn't tackle and get into the card space just because. It's not about graphics. That is about if people are going to be just turning cards over, the game has to be fucking fun. Is so fun from a mechanic standpoint. You need super geniuses on your team.
It has to be almost perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's why you just lean into vanity and cosmetics, and they don't do anything. Like most people who buy a Ferrari or Lamborghini don't buy it because it's that much better as a car, right? That it's that much faster. Like that's a nice thing, but actually they just want to show off. And games are the same way. Like people buy skins in Fortnite and Counter-Strike to just look cool. It doesn't make them better at the game. And the biggest mistake that anybody ever tried to do was try to sell items that actually functionally change the game. It destroys it. Like you just can't do it. And to Leap's point, 5 years from now, if you're still alive as a game, you now have to walk back the decision that you made. So just lean into cosmetics. I think that's the way to go. And actually, like people spend a lot of money on luxury goods. It's a massive market. People want to look cool. They want to feel special, especially online as they're drowned with information and entertainment, all these things. They need to stand out. So give them that thing.
Can I take a right turn? What happened to the dude who bought the Super Bowl ad that was such a fucking dickhead?
Oh my God, what was his name?
What was his name, Lee?
Gabriel.
Yeah, that guy. What happened
What
to
made
him?
you think of him?
He blocked me, so I don't know what's up with him.
The greatest Super Bowl out of all time. It really worked. Honestly, he did a great job because, Leaf, you remember back then, we talked about that for 2 weeks on Spaces. It was 2 weeks straight of, will the Super Bowl ad work or
No,
not?
but like, what happened?
So
He rugged.
Gabriel, he used to come to my space quite a bit, and I actually really enjoyed talking to him.
No, he's smart.
Like
He's smart.
I actually miss him coming to the space. Genuinely, I've said that multiple times over the past few months. They showed up recently because everyone on the timeline was like, "Oh, fucking Digidaigaku rug."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Wait, we didn't rug. We actually created this like royalty-paying thing that Magic Eden's
Oh yeah,
using
he
now."
like solved royalties.
So Limit Break, they're focused, I think, more so on like Limit Break and building all these like open source pieces of infrastructure, which obviously the space needs. I think where Gabriel, and I mean this totally respectfully, because he is super accomplished. I think he has the biggest ad spend, whether you think that's a positive or negative thing, in Web 2 for mobile games ever. Like over $1 billion.
Totally.
Over
Yeah.
$1 billion.
It's not
in
bad
ad
or
spend.
good. It's just a
It's just
job.
the reality.
Good job. He spent
But
the most money. Keep
what-
going.
I literally can't do this
That's all right.
with vegan. So I fucking hate you guys.
Former
So
sponsor.
What did, I can't even remember.
No, we're talking about Gabriel.
No, so they didn't rug. They didn't rug. Okay.
So essentially, he ended up beefing with the majority of like influencers and creators, and was like, "Fuck it, we don't need KOLs," and then just blocked everybody. Not me, but he did unfollow me, and that was kind of the last we heard of him. And I think it's a shame because he genuinely is an interesting character with an interesting project and a lot of experience that he could share with the space. He should come back.
I agree. He just has such a big ego. Like,
Can we
God,
buy a
that-
Super Bowl ad? How much is it?
No, we cannot buy a Super Bowl.
What was the Gabriel sidekick? I missed that guy. Was it like Igor or something like that?
Igor, and that was freenfts.com.
That was good. That was
The kicker was the QR code in the Super Bowl ad went to his personal.
Yeah,
Twitter
that was
account.
amazing.
that was the biggest flex of all time. $1 million to have a QR
Yeah.
code to your personal Twitter. That's like pretty fire
I
here.
don't know, I'm sure he's a nice guy, Leap. I'm not trying to say he's like
No,
a
no,
bad
I mean,
person.
I
It was
know,
just
I know.
like,
He unfollowed Leap, so he's not that nice. Okay, come on now. Like
He blocked Thread guy.
he blocked Thread. Okay, that's too
What?
far. That's too far. Okay, well, I'm canceling it.
He wasn't early ordinal adopter, or he did inscribe his headshot in ordinals, like sub 100.
So that just makes him okay in your book, Troy. That's how it works. He's so easy. Like literally, it's like
These
sub
ordinals
10K.
guys.
Like, it's like
I'm a guy.
you can buy one Bitcoin and do whatever the fuck you want in the space. Scam anyone. He's like, well, it's kind of early. He's got a Bitcoin.
But I like.
you know,
Okay,
so.
but here's the thing though. Here's a question for you guys. So they built this infrastructure that Magic Eden's using. Look, I don't know too much about it specifically, but it's like the programmable NFTs with all the like generational royalties that you can pass down to people who purchase the NFT. Like just like a lot of interesting stuff. I fuck with that, but the royalty thing is still an issue with NFTs. So for everybody that's building games using NFTs, do you even factor royalties into your revenue, or is it something you just completely ignore?
no.
Ignore it.
Wait, we're not getting royalties on Ronin?
Oh no.
Shit.
I gotta be honest. It feels. I don't want to tell founders like don't worry about it because it's like it does feel that way. It feels like give it up, focus on other stuff, and then you can build a real business. Because 1,000 people were like, it's gonna come back, and it's like it's not gonna come back. And if you focus on that, then you're gonna.
It was nice while it was there. I think that's why a lot of people got into it. A lot of artists got into it. Is this idea of like being able to break in? I mean, you were one of them before even Forgotten Runes. Is this idea where you can like? There's just a whole new like financial model around creative like assets, digital assets.
Smart contracts are not smart. That's what I realized.
Yeah, I remember when they cut the royalties. I was like, wait, I thought that was like hard coded because I'm not a developer.
Oh, that was a fun conversation
I
for
was
a
like,
lot
wait
of
a minute,
technical
what?
people.
You could do that?
I remember me and all my dev friends like, technically, it's not possible. Let's talk about OTC. It was a very sad week where we kept talking to be like, no, it is. It is. Someone told me. I'm like, well, technically, it's not. And it got dark. And I have a couple dev friends that beef very hard with Gabriel, very hard.
royalties?
Oh yeah, because what Limit Break did is it's about like actually putting stuff in custody somewhere. That's the problem. It's like you cannot have like trustless royalties being enforced somewhere across
Okay,
chain.
well, that's
It's like,
okay. So that's a great point. So whether it's centralized or not, I'm interested in what you guys think because you play CS, Counter Strike, dude. There was a case hardened AK that sold like 3 months ago for
nuts.
1.2 mil.
Yeah.
These are totally like they're not NFTs. They're literally in
I
Valve.
think it's fine to be a little centralized.
So that is this is what I'm leaning to, and
I have no
and
friends
and I
anymore.
think people.
Just kidding.
I think people might not like this statement, but for games specifically, it doesn't matter to like. Here's the thing I'll just say about Yuga. People are like, oh well, the Bored Apes. Like even if Yuga disappears, the Bored Apes will still have value. No, the fuck they won't. Like it has to do with there has to be not has to, but in those cases, there is an entity behind it that is providing the utility, that is doing the events, that is tweeting, that is active. Like all of that adds value. And when it comes to games, like maybe, and you guys might hate me for this. Maybe it's okay that the assets are a little centralized.
I think so.
Cancel him. No, I'm just
No,
it's because Valve's gonna stay around. These companies are gonna keep staying around. If it was like a one-off game and they're gonna maybe disappear the next day,
Yeah.
but it's like you have Steam. They got a couple things they can't rug pull. Like they can't rug pull every person playing video games on a PC. That's a
No,
little
but
large.
like to your point again, I did not grow up playing MMOs. I grew up playing like FPS. But you look at these game economies. If that's like totally decentralized and you don't have any controls to like keep things in line every once in a while,
It'll eat itself alive.
it's gonna blow up. It's just gonna fucking blow up. I think you can find a nice balance.
There's a balance for sure.
Where like it's not just all sitting in one place and someone's controlling it, but
It's why we have central banks.
Whoa. Okay. Jeez, Bear, you got to get Elf on stage before this happens, okay? We're going to bank the unbanked.
We're gonna get swatted now.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, speaking of balance here, we believe in a couple things. We like talking to people on the internet. We like sharing things in public, but truthfully, if you guys didn't know, all the best conversations happen IRL, in person, when cameras aren't happening. And I actually hear Leap say, dude, fuck Gabriel. That guy's my...
No. Don't. See, this is the problem is, like, I'm around, and then people start beef for me.
Yeah, no, it's like he didn't say it on camera at all, but we're going to turn the cameras off in a second here. Hang out here for a little bit. If you do have some time, we have an after party over on Abbot Kinney at Vibes Co. They got some drink, they got some food here. We'll hang out here for a little bit more, but before we wrap up, Board Elon, what's going on next in the Edison metaverse? What's the next event?
It is currently ending right now. If you want to try it out, it's at edison.wtf. You can play in your browser. You don't have to download any creepy stuff on your computer, Mac or PC. It runs. And then in October, around Halloween time, we might be doing a cool event with these guys and returning to Nightmare Run. Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm already getting my wizard costume ready for Halloween. Leap, how do we cure cancer?
Bro,
Why do you hang out with us? Why do you hang out with us?
We're getting this done, dude.
It's not easy. And I actually
with
think
blockchain.
It's Gabriel. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that yet, but we're gonna do our best.
He'll figure it out.
I will say we are. No, I'll just leave it there.
You got nothing else? Come on, give us something, Leap.
Just one.
Okay, so I am doing something pretty big at Art Basel, so it's my first event ever.
That's cool.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Congrats.
And I think it's going to be good, but we're going to try our best. So we're going to try to raise some more money for charity, for St. Jude specifically.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Awesome. Art Basel, December, you gotta be there, okay? I'm gonna definitely be here. Elf, Bear Snake. Okay, what do? We actually want to play the game. Look at Elf's. Bear Snake's already eating donuts right now. He's checked out here.
I'm done. Can we
okay,
talk
like.
First of all, it's not fair that you're asking us to follow up from curing cancer.
I'm not curing it.
How do I get more mana? Okay.
We're just playing
video games, bro.
Just talk about how you could cause cancer. Maybe that'll.
We're causing cancer.
I'm just
Take his mic. Okay, let's hear it. Okay.
Play our fucking game. It's up and free.
We literally have an MMORPG Web3 game out. We're crushing the bugs. But no, I mean, our project is really strong. Honestly, it really is. We've been here since the NFT hype of 2021. I think we launched the same day as Cool Cats.
Is that July 1st?
June 30th or something.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where I am right now. I haven't slept in 3 days.
Beautiful.
We hired him last week.
Beautiful. You can play it now. There's a lot of content. I was trying to literally speed run it. Could not finish it in time. No, you cannot speed run it. I was dying so much. I was like, this is not working. I'm going to play a little bit more.
No,
this
we're
weekend.
excited about it. We think that there's something really special there. Obviously, making an MMO is really difficult, but I think this first iteration is a step in the right direction. I don't even know why I'm throwing it shade. It's fucking cool. And yeah, you should try it out. It's free. Game.runiverse.world.
The whole reason we had donuts here tonight, by the way.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that. Fuck.
I thought we were going to talk about stacking donuts.
Let's just stop it.
Look, I got the donuts docs, okay, right there, okay? So you look at, there we go.
There
Boom.
it is. Those are the donuts.
They're beautiful.
It's a point system. It'll be worth something in the end.
Yeah, they can't tell you something, not financial advice. It'll be worth something. Stack donuts here, eat donuts
Gary
here.
Gensler, I know, watches IRL Alpha, so.
He does. He's causing a lot of fucking problems
central banks
here.
earlier. I was trying to.
Those are centralized donuts.
Okay, with that, every single week we do the show. We'll be back next week, IRL Alpha, same time, same place. We'll be probably talking about something different. I think next week's going to be a degenerate show. I don't 100% know.
I want to be on that one.
I think we're just going to all get together. Everyone's going to bring $50 and we're just going to buy anything on pump.fun for the first hour, see what happens.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going to happen,
Might even cure cancer on that.
We'll see. Thank you everyone for coming up. We'll see you next time. After party now. Jerry, you want to play music? Thank you very much. We did it. Hopefully that works. Thank you, Lee.
No,
Thanks for letting me throw you under the bus.
No, it was super fun.
You know it's my job.
Dude, I'm a pretty heavy gamer. I played Eve Online for like 5 years. So like it was pretty deep.
I watch Eve Online documentaries.
Dude, there is an 8-hour Eve